Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Sarveda guest lecture series. At Sarveda, we're inspired to integrate the timeless wisdom of yoga, mindful living, and music into our daily lives to help navigate modern challenges while maintaining balance and harmony. We host regular webinars on sound therapy, yoga, and philosophical topics to bring these teachings into practice. Additionally, our online store, Sarveda.com, offers a variety of courses and products to support and enhance this mindful lifestyle. So today we've got with us Ambadi M A as we discuss how vocal harmony helps inner well-being. Welcome, Ambadi, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just going to give a short introduction about Ambadi so all of you know a little more about him before we get into the conversation. So, Ambadi is a talented singer and vocal trainer from Kerala, known for his captivating voice, deeply rooted in the rich traditions of Carnatic music. With a career spanning over 2 decades, Ambadi has honed his musical prowess under the guidance of esteemed Carnatic music gurus. His musical journey extends beyond performance to encompass a passion for nurturing budding talents as well. Ambadi has a commendable track record of tutoring students right from the age of 5 up until 70 years old. So there is no age limit to learning music or any other art form or skill. And some of the other noteworthy things that Ambadi has done is has organized a Hiri. It's a Carnatic vocal music competition, and on behalf of the SCT Cultural Festival. In addition to all of his teaching endeavors, Ambari plays a crucial role as a part of the Carnatic music syllabus curator team for some prestigious universities. And he's also worked with a lot of prestigious platforms like and universities such as the University of Kerala in Thiruvananthapuram. And he's also worked and collaborated with renowned artists across platforms such as Doordarshan, Kairali Surya, Jai Hind, Amruta, Mazavil, Manorama, and Flowers. So he's also a mridangam enthusiast. And he's also composed a few songs in traditional schematics. Apart from music, he's completed his master's in machine design and mechanical engineering. And his interest also spans over integrating engineering prospects into traditional music with a research mentality. So currently, his pursuit focuses on exploring healing prospects of music and its conceptualization. So thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you, Ambadi.
Thank you for the introduction, Priya. Thank you so much. Let's start this with evoking goddess Saraswati, which is Ya Kundendu Tushara Hara Dhavala, which is being composed under the raga Hindolam, which is
Mhm.
also known as Malcounts. So I'll just turn on my Tanpura, which is an app. If you all have, you can also turn it on, and I'm using the scale C, if that's okay. Mm, mm, mm. Ya kundendu तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा पूजिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापः निःशेष Jadyapah. Okay, so I'll just bring out something which I plan to go through. First of all, a little bit intro about the form which I have been trained under, which is a South Indian classical form, and moving to the basic understanding of the fundamentals of this particular form. So, as you know, if you can generally see the geography of our country, we can divide it into north and south. Prominently, we see Hindustani classical forms to be practicing above level, and towards the southern side, we see the classical South Indian classical form, which is also known as Karnataka Sangeetam or Carnatic music, as people call it. So, we will directly go to the aesthetics of that particular musical form, since many are not aware of it.
Mhm.
So, as you can see, music in general, it's a form of expression. It's not a metrics of measurement. It is not something out of uh, a skill prowessness. It is never like that. Music is a form of expression, as blunt as that. And in Carnatic form, compared to all the general forms in music, you can see a lot of oscillatory facts. That is, uh, I'll give you a demonstration how it is. So even when you take a keyboard note or anything like a plain note kind of sound, let's take swaras. We'll come to the detailing of swaras, but generally let's just show you how the swaras come into picture or come into form in this particular form. So generally, if you sing plain notes, it will be like, I'll take the same swaras of the shloka that I sang. Sagamadani sa sa ni da ma ga sa. So it's like ta ra 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 ri 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 ri. So when I sang this, it is just plain step notes that is coming into picture. Now, when I add that Carnatic uh, style or the aesthetic commodity, it is like sa ga ma dha ni sa ni sa ga sa ni da ni ra so if you see, it is not just like pearls lying around. It's like a proper mala. You can take that kind of a picture out of it. So we call it gamakas. Okay.
Okay.
So there are different type of gamakas involved. So you can see ga 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 ga. So all these forms, when it combines, so you can see a lot of waving notes, connecting notes, and there are like around 15 types of gamakas which we use to have a proper melodical progression. So, for example, if you take a template, sa ma ga ma ni da ni pa da ni sa sa ni da ma ga pa ga re sa. So this is like a plain note there. Like if you play it in the keyboard, you can see that these notes are very plain in nature. But when it comes to the Carnatic prospect, it sounds like sa ma ga ma ni da ni pa da ni sa sa ni da ma ga pa ga re sa. See, so that is the if you see a proper character in this particular form, this gamagas comes into picture. And of course, there's a distinct type of gamaga in the Hindustani form, and of course in the Carnatic form. You can see other gamagas like This is another tool of Gamaka which can be included in this. So basically, what I like to say is one of the aesthetical, one prominent aesthetic factor, how you recognize Carnatic music. And of course, it's all practiced in the southern region, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all those places. So as I have sang the swaras, now if you just see the melodical origin or how humans started seeing music, it's more of I won't say the swara existed upfront. It was a curiosity of human beings who deciphered a melody and tried to understand it in a deeper fashion. So I strongly believe it was a melody first. So some people in the cave started singing around fire or something like that. And whenever the intelligence started evolving, they started studying this, and they, you know, dissected it in a understandable manner. So when I say that, it's like, the swara sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. So if people who have studied calculus, you can see it's a differentiation thing. You can see there's a melody, you are cutting it into levels and you are placing it as a name like swaras, sari gama padhani. So there are like 7 swaras, and these swaras actually show crucial points in a melody. So for example, if you take siren, you can take different points in the siren and you can name it as swaras. Now, there's a proper theoretical foundation for that, and when you use it in a different permutation, you get out a certain emotion associated to it. Now, talking about this, we can come to the protocol of raga. So, raga is that thing which actually evokes a certain form of emotion within you uh, by a combination of a certain type of swaras. So, for example, let's take the same example as Hindolam, uh, which is the shloka that I sang. Sagamadani sa. So, in reality, there are like sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. But I chose just sagamadani sa. And even in the swaras, there are different type of variations, and by which when you choose, you get a particular raga. So I'll just randomly sing a different templates so that you understand the difference. So for example, Hindolam. Sagamadani sa sanida magasa. If you take Mohanam, sariga pada sa sada bagare sa. If you take Amardavashani, sa ga ma pa ni sa ni pa maga sa ga ni. So the swaras are the same, as in the sense sarigama padhani, you are choosing certain swaras, you are putting certain swaras in a predictable manner, you get different emotions out of it. Now when it comes to a kind of, like focusing on a swara itself. So for example, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. It is actually studies have been conducted correlating to this particular swara to the energy centers of human being. So starting from Mooladhara to the Sahasrara. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni ni dha pa ma ga re. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni dha pa ma ga re. So if you want to see a picture, it's like from your base of your like Mooladhara chakra. There it is associated to Sa. Then coming forth, it's like Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. So the syllable has to do with evoking these energy points, and these energy points are associated to certain outcomes within the physical realm and the emotional realm. So raga plays a crucial role in this. At the same time, this particular therapeutic effect also depends on the oral conditioning of the person. So, as we speak, like when I sang Hindolam, many of them can associate it to a memory or to a particular emotion. It might be bhakti, it might be happiness, it might be something very serious. It might be even relate to a certain divine form. So all this evoking happens when you actually execute a raga. But behind that, there is a oral conditioning lying behind it. So saga mada ni sa ni sa ga ga sa ni sa ga ga sa da ni sa mada ni sa ga mada ni sa ga mada ni sa ni. So if I sing like this, some things are happening within you, within your mental spectrum, within your emotional spectrum, and if you be in align with this particular awareness, you will know what all ragas actually evoke certain type of emotions. So based on that understanding, you can actually choose what to hear or what to practice. So this is actually my observation, uh, which I feel that you need to be very aware of certain phenomena happening within you. So if you like, for example, a categorized form of this particular raga, when you hear to it, what happens to you? So, for example, one experience I would like to share is after a performance, this particular audience, this lady comes and she appreciates what I performed. At the same time, she starts telling her story, like she's saying like, yeah, I use this particular melody to I use this as a lullaby for form for my kid, and my husband used to sing to him. So all these memories came out, just by an excitation force associated to that particular raga. This might not happen for everyone, so we cannot generalize it, right? Yeah. So in this prospect, we will just do a small experiment which is associated to different ragas, and we'll start with Mohanam, which I think the Carnatic equivalent is Bhopali. So pentatonic swaras, which is like I'm choosing 5 swaras out of the 7 swaras, Sapta swaras, and related to that, I'll be choosing Mohanam, which is one of the raga, Madhyamavati, then comes Hindolam, then comes Shuddha Saveri, then comes Shuddha Dhanyasi. So 5 ragas I'll be, just randomly in the most simplistic form, I'll try to sing, uh, just choosing different swaras and melodies. And I want you to just write down a particular keyword associated to it. For example, if I sing something, maybe in general form it will be like happy, or maybe it will be like pakka sad, like very sad, maybe grief, maybe very serious, like something like that, or maybe valor. You feel like a soldier sometimes when you hear to certain melodies. So I'll start with Mohanam, and you can maybe message in this particular platform, or just for your reference, let it be. Okay. So starting with Mohan. Mm, sa re ga pa da sa, sa re da sa re pa da sa re ga pa da sa re ga, ga re sa re sa da pa, ga pa da sa re ga, sa re ga ma ga re sa da pa ga re sa da. Pada sari ga pada sa, sari ga pada sa da ba ga ri sa da sa ri ga pada sa ri ga ga ri sa da da ba ba ga ga ri sa da sa ri ba da sa ri ba ba da da sa sa ri ga ga pa pa da da sa sa ri ga 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 ri sa ga ri sa ga ri sa da ri sa da ba sa da ba ga 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 re ga pa ga re ga pa da ga re ga pa sa ga re ga pa ri 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 sa sa da ba ba ga ga ri ri sa sa. So this was a small template of Mohana. Now I'm going to another raga, which is um, Madhyamavati. Yeah. So Mohana, Madhyamavati. Now this Madhyamavati ragam, maybe you can relate to, because lot of devotional songs has been composed out of this particular raga. Sa Sari ma pa ni. Sari ma pa ni pa ma re. Re ma pa ni pa ma pa ni sari. Re ma re sa ni pa ma re sa ni. Ni sa re re sa ni pa ni sa re 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 ma pa ni pa ma pa ni pa ma ni pa ma re sa re re pa pa ni re sa ni pa ma re ma pa ni sa ni sa re ma re sa ni pa ma ni sa re re ma ni sa ni pa ni pa re ni sa re ma pa ni sa sa. So this is Madhyamavati. Now moving to Hindolam. Now Hindolam, which is a shloka that I've sang, is in Hindolam. Sagamadani sa, sagamadani ni da da mama ga ga sa. Sa sa ga ga ma ma da da ni ni sa ga ga sa sa ni ni da 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 ma 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 ga ma da da ma ga sa 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 ga ga ma ma da da ma ma ga ga sa 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 ga ma da da ma ga sa 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 ga ma da da ma ga sa 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 ni sa ga ga sa ni sa ga ga sa ma ga sa ni sa da 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 ni sa da ga ga ma ma da da ni ni sa sa ga ga sa sa ni ni sa da ma ma ga ga sa ga ma da ni ga sa. Okay. Now moving to Shuddha Saveri. Sa re ma pa dha sa dha pa ma re sa te ma ma pa da da sa re ma re sa da sa pa da sa pa da sa re ma pa da sa re ma re re sa da ma ma re re sa te re ma pa da sa re ma re re sa pa da sa ma da da sa re re pa da sa re re pa da pa da re sa da pa ma re re sa da sa. This is Shuddha Saveri. Now the final one in the list, Shuddha Dhanyasi. Sa ga ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga ga sa ni pa ni sa ga ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ni sa ga ma pa ni ni sa ga ma pa ni pa ni sa ga ma pa ni pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ga 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 ma ga ga sa ni pa ni ma pa ni ga ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ga sa ma ga pa ni pa sa ni ga sa ma ga sa ni pa ma pa ni ma ga ni sa ga ga ma ni sa ga ma pa 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 ma pa ni sa ga sa ga ma pa ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga sa. Okay. So, like any one of you can share what you felt. It's just an open, you know, trying to understand what you associated to it, right? Like if Priya, if you want, you can just say what
Yeah,
you felt.
I will share. So
Huh.
I wrote down as you kept changing from one to the other. So in
Mm-hmm.
the first one, for some reason, a memory of like a traditional village scene just popped up in my head. Maybe it
Okay.
was just linked to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, does anyone else want to share what they experienced in
Which raga actually you felt
the
very
Mohanam? The first
Mohanam?
one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, that
Cool. Cool.
Bhopali feels like very, open air, free spirited.
Uh
Bhopali
huh.
has that feel. I
Okay.
have done, I'm doing Hindustani music,
Uh
and
huh.
Bhopali has that feel of, being in the open air and, very nice feel about it. Whereas Malcons,
Mm-hmm.
what you say, has a very, it's called like Gambir, it's like a serious
Mm-hmm.
uh, thing. Those three I could relate because it's there in thing, and I felt the same. I think the notes are the same in both Carnatic and Hindustani,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't get the equivalents. Yes, I was trying to figure out. One of them sounded like very marching type, maybe warrior thing.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
And so yes, even in Hindustani, I felt like some of the ragas are very very typical. Like Malhar
mhm,
really evokes that monsoon feeling.
mhm.
It's a very distinct feeling. And I don't know whether in Hindustani you have the time thing, like you have to, some of them are sung in the morning, some in the
Mhm,
afternoon, and some in the evening. Do
mhm.
you have that in Carnatic as well?
Actually, there is a time concept in it, but moreover, we are exploring in a way, like the artistic freedom, how it is engaged to a particular, if it calls for a certain raga, you just express it. So we are more of, like trying to think free in that sense.
Mm.
But yes, of course, there this particular concept exists, and there are some ragas which are, like a superstitious idea is associated to it, more of
Mm.
like ahiri, varali, so all those things. So sometimes my guru says that those are like,
Mm.
when people uh, started exploring this raga, when their competency got little pondered upon the challenge, they
Okay.
started a certain form of, like this won't be taught, you have to listen from somewhere and learn something like that. So yeah, it was associated with a factor of competency. But yes,
Okay.
of course, there's a lot of thing associated to it, even if like there is something which I am also trying to understand, keeping the open mind out, the concept of karma. Right.
Okay.
So, for example, Priya had this association to a village and all those things
Mm.
when you
Mm.
heard. So, some form of memory has been triggered, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
deep, maybe within this particular, time reality. But there are a lot of data what we are carrying as human beings. So,
Mm.
some are very dormant, and sometimes it gets evoked, sometimes it gets evoked in the dream dimension, if maybe like a random memory. So nothing goes by accident. As in Kung Fu
Mm.
Panda, we can see that Master Oogway is saying there are no accidents, so certain things happen for a reason. So
Mm.
yeah, so basically what I try to like put the concept out as in, when you
Mm.
hear a raga, you associate a particular emotions. For example, you felt brightness, maybe
Mm.
a color yellow,
Mm.
maybe Krishna, maybe some
Mm.
like, whichever divine form, or maybe a very fond memory of yours. So understanding what your stimulus were with the raga is very important to engage yourself in that particular dimension. So that, for example, there are certain ragas which has this chromatic behavior, like, as I said, one of the ragas where the superstitious stuff come in, and it happens to be one of my favorite ragas, which is known as ahiri. It's like पनिमति मुखी बले പത്മനാഭനിൽ കനിവില്ലായ്കയാൽ കാമൻ ഭാരമേയുന്നു മനസി ദുസഖമയോ മദന കദനമിന്ദു. It's one of my favorite ragas, but people don't sing it because they feel like they might not get food or something, because it is associated to that factor. What I find it is, if you sing this raga, you don't need food. So that's a different.
No, there
Yeah.
is probably there is something in that whatever you sang, longing for something. There's that.
Exactly. Long.
Yes, that's yeah,
So
that emotion comes out.
these information that you give to your perception, what you hear, what you associate, it also stays as a memory.
Yes,
So what
and
you relate to,
so
yeah.
I'm also interested in how you're going to, say, tell about how these chakras and all those, what is that, swaras, how do you associate that? You
So
said,
association more of an esoteric way, or maybe like when you sing. One of my gurus actually asked me to focus below the navel when you are singing sa or a.
mm,
So this particular syllable has to do with that particular dimension of energy, which actually excites it and evokes it to move forward. So, for example, sa is associated to Muladhara. So,
mm,
sa when you have this mental and emotional dimension towards that particular energy region
mm,
or
mm,
area, there is this vibration felt in that particular uh, congruency. So, what happens is there is a factor of excitation which happens individually to the swaras, and when raga comes into play, it adds an aesthetic factor to it. Now, when it comes to spiritual exploration, it's not just about, you know,
mm,
there are certain aspect of surgeons happening where aesthetic can also behave as a distraction for that particular exploration. Hence, we focus on very monotonous way of executing, for example, mantras or
yeah.
all those bija mantras. All those has a very it doesn't have a lot of ornamentals around it. So when we sing Hindolam as such, it has a lot of intoxication factor, if I would say. You can
Mm,
explore and get lost in the dimension of time.
mm,
So when it comes to this particular swara aspect, sa can any swara can be sa, if I would say. So for example, sa, this is just in a particular shruti, particular tambura scale. This
mm,
is sa. But if I change the shruti, sa becomes something else. So it is not, it doesn't have to do with the frequency aspect of it. So because I'm changing the frequency, but still it's sa itself. Sa 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 sa. Every sa. So coming to the concept of adhara shadjam. Now, when you say sa re ga ba ba da ni sa, you need a starting point. You fix it. You fix it on a frame. You use instruments to fix that frame. You
mm,
understand your vocal dimensions, and based on that, you start exploring. So it has to do with that syllable nature. Sa as a mantra. Like a very small, tiny mantra. Sa. The frequency happens later based on their or vocal capability. Sa sa re sa re ga re ga ma pa dha ni. Now, when you are even singing, if you see the acoustic factor of it, when you move towards ni, which is also in the higher frequency, you will see the vibration moving towards your head. Sarigamapadani. You will see an internal vibration happening this particular area. So
mm,
an acoustic factor is also related to it, an energy factor is related to it, an emotional factor is related to it, and an aesthetic factor is blanketed towards it when you practice a certain form. Now, yoga to be explored, it's a form of alignment. Now we are aligning our Adhara Shadjam to this particular Shruti or a particular framework. So this also shows a form of alignment within your vibratory spectrum. So if actually if you experiment this, you can actually feel a certain form of closure, a certain form of settlement when you just align your swaras with the Shruti. So there is a yoga happening within the swara spectrum or the musical spectrum of it. So this also plays as a potential prospect for spiritual growth. So even when you see veterans, the practitioners who are in this particular uh, classical form or Shastriya Sangeetam forms, you will slowly see them moving towards a factor of materialistic and more of they themselves get elevated and evolved, and most of the materialistic prospects dissolves for them. Even if any it's not a matter of religion or anything. It just dissolutes you. It dissolutes your identity. It dissolutes your ego. You become one with something else. that
Yes,
that is how I will put. Yeah,
not only they are elevated, they also take the audience at a higher level. I feel,
absolutely,
they
absolutely. But
and
the ones who is performing and experiencing is a different thing. The
mm,
person who is experiencing and intoxicating is a different thing. These two things are different. So when I am a rasika, things happen differently. Rasika, as in the terms, when I am the listener and I listen to a veteran singing, my dimensions are manipulated, changed, many colors are shown. But when you become the performer, it's a different deal. It's more uh, of course, it cannot be put in words. It is something to do with dissolution of time. You lose the sense of time. So this has happened when you practice very intensively. Like uh, when you put your energy to a particular formula of practice, and if you surrender to that process, slowly you start losing the idea of time. This has happened to me once, at least, when I was practicing mridangam, and 6 hours passed like that, and I don't know what happened.
you
Like
got, you got into
the,
the flow, no? They say.
yes, so something has to do with the time signature. Now in Carnatic music also you can see there's a lot of investment in understanding time signatures. Lot of complex tala structures are there, which actually by itself is another dimension to carry on. So it also matters with a disciplinary form is embedded on this particular factor of melody progression, which is the tala. And there are like lot of signature different permutations of time signatures used to evoke this particular dimension. So this is not even just the periphery, like it's not even periphery of the form. It's just periphery of the periphery of the form. I would put like that, because it's a very large, like as anyone says, it is nothing less than infinity, and this is just an idea, and very grateful for whoever has invented this. And the if you see the traditional concerts of Carnatic music, it is actually a late product. It is more of a 20th century product, which you see as a concert form. Before that, it was more of a self-exploratory leisure form. Like you just sing for something unknown. You sing, you surrender. This is how the form were practiced. So Carnatic music, if you see, there's a strong association to the tradition and devotional prospect to it. And that could be like, as if you see a structural form in Carnatic music, it is all thanks to Purandaradasar, Sri Purandaradasar. He is the one who structured everything for a baby practitioner who is just introduced to this form. And of course, we salute to the Trinity, who also had a number of composition for this particular exploration. So after that, like people came in and they are now practicing their thing. They are putting their artistic element. But as we all believe, most of our artists believe that everything already exists. Nothing is new to be created or something like that. It is already existing. You are just borrowing it from the time, like, and experiencing it and practicing it and putting forth to the audience.
Right.
And of course, yeah, tell me, Pri.
No, I was saying one of our previous speakers, Aparna,
Uh-huh.
she also has a message saying, Madhyamavati Raga reminds her of the song Harivara Sanam. So, Aparna, do you want to share any other
Absolutely.
experiences?
Yes, yes. Harivarasanam is in Madhyamavati. Harivarasanam Vishwamohanam Haritadishwaram Aradhipadukam Ari Vimardanam Nityanartanam Hariharatmajam Devamashre Charanamayappa Swami Charanamayappa Charanamayappa Swami Charanamayappa. So this is actually a lullaby form to for the divine, for the deity Ayyappa, who is the Shakti of both Vishnu and Shiva. So this is a that concept, and of course it is also used as a asking for forgiveness kind of a raga. Whatever mistakes you have done, towards the end you sing the Mangalam.
Right.
Okay, I'm ending my concert. Whatever mistakes I have made, please forgive me. So for projecting that particular idea, you sing Madhimavadi sometimes. So uh, so what I'm trying to say is, like, even when Harivarasanam is associated to it, before Harivarasanam also there were association to this particular raga. So this is how the memories are triggered. It's a complex overlay of, you know, memory association, the awareness, consciousness, all those. It's like a complex network which is being evoked just by a particular melody progression. So it has a huge potential, of course, in the research field as of now. Uh, Maybe the great ones have already researched in it, but of course, what I feel is there needs to be a dissolution of our multiple layer of perception. We have multi-layered complex perception. You have to connect with your core self to understand what actually a raga does to you. So for that you need deep listening, deep experiential experiments that you conduct within yourself to understand better, and choosing those ragas in your own customized way can do miracles, of course. And I think there is a research paper on Ananda Bhairavi where uh, people taking uh, painkillers, I think it's more of a palliative care unit uh, study. So with the application of Ananda Bhairavi, they came to a reduced dosage of painkiller. So this is being has been studied in that particular field. So this, I came across a paper where it was shown this, but this as I said, it's not a generalized form by which I approach it, because, as I said, just a simple experiment like this, when I conducted with the 5 ragas, many have associated to different form of emotion or a event or something like that. So something is way deeper behind that particular picture, and when you get more and more aware of that point, your epicenter, you can actually uh, explore a raga in your own way. The output that you require can be very selective, you know being more aware to oneself. So this is some idea I have to put, and I would also like to mention the power of akaram as in a, the syllable a. So it has miraculous effect to your body, and also to your emotional spectrum or the stability factor. You just have to sing ah on a daily purpose, and just observe yourself, what all happens, how you respond to a situation, how you react to a situation, how your spontaneity gets tuned. All those things can be studied. So for example, you just have to sing agaram 21 times daily, and see by yourself, like, what all changes happen. Just like this, with full throttle. You have to see how you breathe with full capacity. Try singing Ankaram. A number that I'm giving you is 21, and see what all changes happen within you. Where this particular vibration is prominent within your body dimension, um, So, moreover, most of the people who have practiced, they feel it in the abdomen region, this particular vibration, and it is also associated to a form of stability factor. And also, I
Correct.
have interestingly seen this study in a book where you know appa, amma, all those words have been associated to this akaram, so that the kids have a certain form of stability within their dimension when they often use that word often. So just a simple mantra for you. Yeah, tell
And
me.
even in yoga, right, when
Mm,
we first understand the meaning of Om,
mm.
So it's akar, ukar, and makar, no, they say.
Yeah, yeah. So what I understand out of this is, uh, like different forms I have seen, and what to believe in is the question of experiment and what I experience. So I have heard people chanting, "Om." I have heard this. Another
Mm.
one I have what I have heard is "Ah." And another version, what I've heard is it happens very in your hollow resonate structure, uh, which your whole system vibrates. So these three forms have its own effect on your body,
Mm.
and I feel like O from A is a variant which happen when you repetitively chant mantras. For example, if you take Om Bhairavaya Namaha, you don't chant it just one time. You chant it maybe 108 or 1008 times. So when you keep on chanting, the connecting O from the Namaha becomes O.
Amadi.
So Om Bhairavaya Namaha, Om Bhairavaya. So A emphasis goes to O. So Om Bhairavaya Namah, Om Bhairavaya Namah, Am Bhairavaya Namah, Am Bhairavaya. It actually hinders a little bit with the flow of the chanting process. So I feel like it's from the time how it got evolved, became little bit of O. I feel like it's very primitive in nature, and primitive nature will have very simple form.
Correct.
Hence, I believe that it is A. You're not using your tongue as any modulatory factors or anything like that. Just and by which what I understand is it is similar to red, green, blue, the RGB of colors. Is the RGB of the sounds. So the complex combination of is the reality by which you hear whatever complicated sounds you hear is some complicated combination of So this is what my observation says, but it could be different, of course. So I'm just opening it in that sense. I'm just, uh, I'm very curious about this particular thing, so I'm just putting it out in that sense. So yeah, akaram, just experiment with that particular acoustics, akaram, and I would also say not to be too over enthusiastic because that can also harm you. So there are certain syllables which may have relation with the uh, tantric prospect of sounds, and if not done properly would actually have a negative effect towards. So just try to be very simple. Unless you have a proper guru, don't go for uh, these kind of experiments, or else it will have a counter effect. So yeah, I'm just putting this out, and yeah, I think if you have anything to ask, or I think we have come to that particular session. Yeah. uh,
So when you were mentioning about Akaram,
mm,
you probably may have covered it, but then I was trying to link it to yoga, where in yoga as well, we do, when we first learn Om chanting, and there are different types of pranayamas as well, where we chant A from
mm,
the belly region, the heart, ooh and then from the throat and head region. So I was just trying to make that connection when you were talking about
Absolutely. Like even when you execute a raga, if you actually go a little deeper and be aware of your breathing pattern, it will mimic with the yogic prospects. So it is actually, it supports the spiritual exploration of a person. So it's like you have certain exercises. So for example, I'm just remembering Naga Bandhana, which is from Parambara of Shambangudi Srinivasa Iyer. It's like so 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 didika so 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 didika so 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 didika so 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 didika so didika so 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 didika ga so so didika ga mama sariga ri sariga ri sariga ri sariga ma sariga sa dika ma sariga ri sa sari sa didika dika dika ga ma sa sa didika sari saga saga ri sariga ma sa sari saga ri sama ga ri sari dika ga ma. So this is a particular type of an exercise which was given to a student, then to a student, then student from like that parambara came into picture, and you can definitely see a form of controlling factor to what you put forward to your respiratory system. Of course, it's a form of reverse engineering. If you can see, uh, you have a certain breathing pattern when you are happy, when you are sad, when you are anxious. So if you reverse it, it will have the reverse effect of it. So
right.
if you mimic a happy respiratory mode, you will feel that sense of bliss. So something related to that particular stuff. And yeah, so as you said, it's also related to that respiratory prospect. Yeah, done.
You have a very good, beautiful voice and so controlled singing. Very
Thank you,
nice.
thank you.
Very beautiful. Any other questions from anybody?
I
Or
have a
sharing?
question, but there is a, I think it will take time. Like when you do the chakra meditation, people
Mhm.
say lam, yam, hum, is those sounds.
Mhm. I'm
You
not
know,
expert
they-
in that particular dimension. This is more of what I relate to is what I have practiced. So, moreover, if you see the acoustic prospect of it when you sing swaras, you will see a flow, an uprising flow and a descent flow. However, your practice is, which has to do with this particular energy spectrum, because whatever knowledge that has been compiled on this is similar to what the swaras do to these particular energy points. And also there are compositions also written based on that. So there's a composition on a Shobhilu. It is just talking about the greatness of swaras. So it's like in the second stanza, it goes like Nabhi Hritkandharasana. Nabhi means in the abdomen. Nabhi Hritkandha Rasana. So the flow of swaras, it is being explored. So Nabhi Hritkandharasana Nasatulayanto Nabhi so it's a wonderful composition, just giving a courtesy to the swaras. So this is how I relate to in that spectrum. It's not more of like I'm not an expert in defining how the chakras are, which I feel like there should be a prominent, like a guru who actually can lead me and initiate in that particular spectrum. For me now, the guru is more of my musical journey. So that is how it is. So I won't take any kind of authority on anything. That is a clear picture, because we all are exploring different stuff and we are sharing knowledge. We see effect, we experience it. So I'm just keeping it open. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Very beautiful. Thank you. Do we have any
yeah.
other questions?
I
I
think
see Lakshman has a
yeah.
question.
Yeah, hi Priya. Yeah, hi Amari.
Hi, Lakshman.
So I'm really thankful for this session to both of you. Um,
Hmm.
Really, your voice is really like I can say mesmerizing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. So I'm totally new to music, so I don't have any background with music, but
Hmm.
I'm keen on learning music I'm just waiting for the right time, or like I just want to do that. So
Okay.
as I've heard and known, like there are two types of music. Like the one is Carnatic music, and the other is
Mm-hmm.
Hindustani music.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is like, uh, I'm a bit in a dilemma. Like, should I,
Which one to
if I had to
choose?
start learning with music, should I have to
Uh-huh.
go for Carnatic or Hindustani?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my question.
Okay. Okay. So I would give you a step-by-step answer for this.
Mhm.
First thing is, how do you see music and how do you define your objective in exploring music? That is one
Mhm.
primary stuff. So, are you using music as just a leisure factor, kind of, like just kind of a hobby thing? Another thing, are you using music uh, as your daily bread earning art form? That is another thing you have to deal with. Another one, are you using music for solely spiritual exploration? Are you using music as a karma oriented factor? So, all these objectives, I'm just giving you an example. So,
Mhm.
defining your objective from what you are trying to do with that particular art form. Second thing, there are different forms of music, as you mentioned. I would say, which one is closer to you? Which form of music actually makes you, wow, or some spontaneous response comes when you listen to this particular art form or that particular art form. So you can also dig into your conditioning when you were a child,
Mhm.
how your surroundings were, what all kind of music were you exposed to, so that you will have a fast connectivity to that form, right? So I would say you have to go through all, like what all prospect you have, go through it, and whichever is closer to you, you can explore that particular form, right?
Yeah. So I'll figure out these aspects, and then I will.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
are you clear with what I actually said?
Yes, 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 yes. But as you said, like even while choosing the instrument, even I have
Uh-huh.
a longing to learn an instrument. So
Mm-hmm.
even someone said the same thing, because I was in dilemma between learning guitar and violin.
Okay.
So the person said the same thing, like you listen to more guitar more and also violin. The
Mm-hmm.
one which strikes your heart, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Uh,
Uh,
another thing always we forget is our ears. You know, always
mhm,
it's like sometimes they associate to the voice or maybe just the brain, but it is the ears which actually tells you which one to actually go for. So deep
mhm,
listening, ultimately, if that music has to evoke you or has to do something undefinable to you,
mhm,
something blissful to you, you have to go to a deep listening mode. I think that friend has suggested this particular idea, and
okay.
you have to listen. So, for example,
Mhm,
I'll tell you, a general audience listening to a performer and a musician listening to a performer is different. A musician
mhm,
actually listens to it in a way like how I can take the good aspect out of it so that I can also explore, or like learning through every step of how the performer is rendering or something like that. So for
okay.
that you need to have that deep listening condition, and it is never a fast process.
Mhm,
So, as I said, if you were conditioned in a certain way, it might add an accelerating factor to it. You may get connected very quickly. But if
mhm,
that is not there, you have to actually train yourself, be patient, and listen to it in a very deep sense. And whichever connects the best. And at the same time, I also told you about the objective. So, for example,
mhm,
if you see the present world, it's of course chaotic, but uh, you can see a guitarist being called for different performances,
mhm.
maybe not as likely as a violinist, or maybe the vice
True,
versa. So
true,
this
true,
all
true.
depends, and also affects your enthusiastic factor. Like if you don't get enough encouragement, you may not be able to do it, or else you may have to constantly put energy to power you up. Keep on pursuing it. So all these factors comes into picture. Ultimately, you should resonate with it, whichever form you are taking in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll figure out between these two. But even I've tried listening Hindustani and Carnatic sometimes, but my resonation was more towards Hindustani. But and I should really say that it's not like I have come to here and I'm like telling good about you. When people like you sing Carnatic, that pulls me towards Carnatic.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh-huh.
that also it's better
No,
in that.
that actually that depends on the artistry. Now, artistry is a different concept you need to discuss on, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, uh, is it Lata Mangeshkar or Muhammad Rafi? Is it
Mm-hmm.
Alka Yagnik or Shan? So it's like, uh, uh, the artistry behind an execution is a different thing, because now it is not just the form trying to connect with you, the artist is trying to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get confused with if the art form is trying to connect with you or not, right?
Okay.
So that's a different thing.
Yeah. Thank you both
Sure.
of.
If there are no other questions, then I would like to wrap up the session and say a big, big thank you to Ambadi. Thank you so much. It was a lovely session.
Thank you for
And
inviting me. Yeah. And thank
yes,
you, Arjun. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ambadi. In fact, I wanted to tell you the that you were singing that the Om was the most powerful one that I've heard. So I'll be very interested to, do the Akara, learn it
Ah,
from
absolutely. Absolutely.
you. It's a very strong one. Thank you so much. It was very,
Thank
very
you. Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You can reach out to us. We are on Instagram, Sarveda Shala or Sarveda Life, and Ambari is also on Instagram. Kwasar is the Insta ID, and you can also reach out to him at ambakwasar@gmail.com. And watch out, keep an eye out, sign up for our newsletters, because we're going to be, sharing details of any future collaborations with Ambadi as well. So thank you very, very much for joining us this evening. Have a lovely evening. Thank you. Bye bye.